Collin, from the spring and carry
You know,
over?
Collin didn't really make it public, but he had some, or he may have, I don't know, but he had some lower back stuff going on last year that was bothering him. And I think that was legitimate, and he feels very healthy, he's in good spirits. He's kicking the ball really well, he's playing the ball really well, and he kicked off extremely well.
Coach, are there any position battles that are a little clearer now after all these scrimmages?
I mean, I would have to sit with the staff, and we usually watch the film tonight, and usually the next day that we meet, we talk about personnel across the board and how everybody's doing in the race. Like, for example, last scrimmage was on a Saturday, and then we came back Monday morning and we talked about every single guy across the board and how they're doing and where they fit and who would be in the 70 and who would be in the 80. When I say 70, I'm talking about traveling SEC. And when I say 80, I'm talking about a home game against the SEC people, in case the readers or the fans want to know what I'm talking about. But we'll have a better idea here in the next, by tomorrow morning, we'll have a lot better.
How long is that meeting, Mark, when y'all do that sort of rundown?
The first time I met with the defense separate, then the offense separate, and then I brought everybody together and we talked about how it related to special teams. After the second scrimmage, we had everybody in there, so everybody can hear what everybody thought about all of our players. And part of that reason is you may have a high school coach call you from your area and he recruited offensive player, but you happen to be a defensive coach and you're like, how's so-and-so doing? And like, I really don't know how he's doing. So we decided to all sit in there together and hear it out. And that also allowed all the special teams coaches to hear everything as it was going on, so we didn't have to do it twice. So, but the meeting took at least 45 minutes to an hour.
Your quarterbacks, how did they play today? I mean, obviously they're spotted at 24 deficit, and they got back in there. Were there some highlights?
There was a pick six for Georgia that was one of the touchdowns.
Okay.
So does that leave 10 points?
Yeah.
Oh, it was 20,
No.
17 points.
17 points, yeah.
So there was a long run by Sonny Michel. That was one of them. So that's 2 touchdowns.
You know about how long?
It was probably over 50 yards. It was over 50 yards. So that's 2 of the TDs. And I'm not even sure. There might have been a touchdown pass.
Mark,
I don't remember.
in a typical SEC game, how would you envision tailback carries going if you had a healthy complement of backs?
Going by percentages, it's hard to say. Nick would get the most. And Sonny would probably get the next most. And, I would say probably Keith and Brennan both. I think it played very well. I think they both probably earned the right to be the third guy. I'm not exactly sure how we would do that, but Keith, as of right now, would probably be the third guy and Brennan the fourth. But really, both those guys have proved to be game ready to me. I look at it that way with those guys.
We've talked so much about the quarterbacks, but the perceived strength of the team are the running backs. How's Nick been? This point, I feel like we've not even talked about him.
He's done well. He's been very solid. There wasn't a whole lot of space for him today. He earned everything he got today. The offensive line play. Offensive line, the number 1 unit, I think has really had a really nice camp. And I think our twos, if you remember I was saying, of all the units, the 2 line was the one that scared me the most, really. But they have probably improved the most since that statement. Because they really, quite frankly, had farther to go than most units, in my opinion. But I think defensively, the down linemen, there's really truly not a lot of depth right there right now, and we will absolutely have to do it by committee. I don't see 3 guys that are just going to be playing a much higher percentage than the next 3 guys. I think we just got to keep them as fresh as possible, rotate them the best we can, you know, when people start going no huddle and don't substitute, guys gotta stay in there, you know? But my guess is the first chance we get to make a sub, we will, once we get it rolling a little bit in that regard. I think our outside linebackers right this minute are better pass rushers than the run stoppers. I think they're improving in that area, but we gotta